Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. Chairman and Ranking Member, thank you for hosting this hearing. To all of our witnesses, thank you for coming in. And it's very timely and important discussion that we're having. Mr. Goldwine, your testimony states that if the President's one-time debt cancellation goes through, student loan debt will return to $1.6 trillion in just 5.5 years. So what you're saying is that not only is the President spending $400 billion on this reckless and blatantly political bailout, in less than a decade, taxpayers could very well expect to hear these same calls from the left to do it again?
Thank you for that question, Congressman. At best, this is a Band-Aid that's going to buy us 5.5 years, but that doesn't even account for the behavioral effects. The reality, as some of my colleagues here have mentioned, is there's going to be more borrowing as a result of this cancellation in IDR, and so I'd expect we'll be right back to where we started, even faster than that 5.5 years we estimated.
And we really, we've heard a little bit on the root cause of student debt in that discussion in terms of what universities do whenever there's, what do you think the result will be on tuition going forward with this debt relief? I mean, and I know it's a projection, it's a guess, but some behaviors are predictable. And what are your thoughts on where tuition in universities and colleges go should this debt forgiveness go through?
So I expect the President's policies will drive up tuition, especially graduate tuition. Maybe even more concerning, they're going to drive down the value of the programs. We're going to see a lot more low-quality programs that are high cost and not giving much in return.
So it's fair to say that at the end of the day, this, for the next generation of learners, is going to make education either impossible or, quite frankly, provide them with such a watered-down education that it really doesn't have value in terms of earning possibilities.
I don't know about impossible, but this is going to make overall outcomes worse, not better, going forward.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Salerno, the Government Accounting Office recently uncovered that the vast majority of institutions are at best misstating the actual price of their degree programs, and at worst, intentionally concealing them. Now, if we want to solve the problem of excessive borrowing and financing for degrees that simply don't pay off, it is critical that students have maximum transparency when it comes to the cost and the value of an institution's program offerings. Given your expertise and knowledge about the shortcomings of the college financing process and challenges it creates for students and families, what would maximum transparency look like from your perspective?
Congressman, thank you for the question. I can give you two things in particular that I think would improve the situation greatly. The first would be to present data in a more clear and transparent way to students as consumers. Right now, we give students information on annual costs and we give them information on annual salaries, but people don't think in terms of annual costs and annual salaries. We live our lives monthly. We earn our income monthly. We pay our bills monthly. So one very quick and easy improvement would be to just simply repackage the data that we give to consumers into numbers that they understand and that they're comfortable with in every other aspect of their financing life. A second thing that we can do, also related to this, would be to alter the kinds of information we give institutions who are shopping. We care about graduates, we care about debt ratios, but we also care about things like when the campus is open, and we care about childcare access, and we care about night and weekend resources. There's lots of other information that we can provide consumers to make them better shoppers. And lastly, we can present that information in a better way. Right now, we package financial aid award letters to cover cost of attendance, but as I said in my oral testimony, we don't always need to cover indirect costs. There are some students who only want to borrow for tuition and fees. It would be sensible for Congress to consider ways to split out award letters or sequentially drive them in a way so that if I don't want to cover additional costs, I'm not presented with the option to. That alone would reduce borrowing for a sizable percentage of borrowers who may never want it but feel compelled to borrow it because of the way it's presented currently.
Well, thank you. I think that's consistent with what many of us have worked on and will continue to work on in terms of increased financial literacy. I mean, I'm a big supporter of year-round Pell which encourages on-time graduation at 3.5, 4 years, which saves significant additional costs. And quite frankly, I love universities. I like giving them competition, and that's why I'm a huge proponent with a number of my colleagues even across the aisle here on career and technical education, creating other pathways to success. Thank you.